Hello and welcome, ladies, gentlemen, and non-binary friends, to our first episode of Gaming Nest News here on Nest HQ. My name is Joker. I will be your host for tonight for these shows. We've got ourselves a great show lined up here with more than a few videos ranging from news here into the gaming world, things that have happened recently and things that we can look forward to in the future. We've got ourselves an appearance from Project Supervillain, who've got some information on future game releases coming up in December. Let's go ahead and take a look here at what they have to bring us.
What's up, everyone? I'm Mark Drifter.
I'm Midnight White.
Today we're going to be taking a look at a couple of the games coming out this December.
That's right, so these are some pretty notable releases for the most part. We kind of just took a look, found our three favorites, and we're going to bring them to you now. Some of them you've definitely heard of, other ones you may not have heard of just yet, but I promise they're all awesome.
And the first game we want to talk about is Immortals Fenyx Rising. This game's coming out on the 3rd of December. It's by Ubisoft, so you can find it on every platform, Xbox, PlayStation, PC. It's very Breath of the Wild inspired, so you're definitely going to notice a lot of similarities there.
Oh, definitely. You can tell the inspiration right away from the way it looks, the way it plays, all that kind of stuff. It's a third-person action adventure. The combat is similar to the newer Assassin's Creed titles, so kind of like Breath of the Wild, but it's got its own thing going on. And like the Assassin's Creed games, it's also got a nice large open map, so I'm sure there will be plenty of stuff to do in there. Hopefully not so much busy work stuff, but you know what I'm saying. It's still going to be cool.
It appears to be going for more of a cartoony vibe, kind of a la Fortnite there. Very colorful, lots of expressive animation, both in facial work and just about everything else in the game as well.
It's got like a bit of a Greek mythology vibe, and if that's your kind of thing, you know, think of it like a more cartoony version of a God of War style game. Highly recommend if you're into that kind of thing. Go check it out. Oh yeah, Cyberpunk 2077. Everyone knows about this one. This isn't a shock to anyone that we're looking forward to this game. It's coming out December 10th, 2020, this year. Every major platform. Go pre-order that stuff. Hopefully it's actually going to come out.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be based off the tabletop RPG Cyberpunk 2020. I haven't played that. Have you?
No, I kind of want to, honestly,
Yeah.
But I'm just looking forward to this game, really.
Yeah, I like anything Cyberpunk, so this is going to be great.
Mm-hmm.
It's a first-person RPG, obviously. It's decisions have great impact in this game. There's lots of character freedom and customization in it.
Yeah, so you don't have to like stick to one class build. You know, you can kind of like get bonuses and go into your own little branch of
I'm
things.
going to have a giant penis.
There you go. See, you can even your genitals.
Finally.
Like, yeah, me can make me King Kong Ding Dong about this big.
Get out of here. You're not welcome in this show.
On top of all that freedom and customization, there is an absolutely stunning level of detail in this game. The graphical fidelity is seldom seen in a lot of games that have released previously or even up in this current generation. Like, it's actually pretty wild to look at.
This is going to be something just out of this world, I imagine. And it's also got a bomb as fuck soundtrack. We've been listening to it already because it's on Spotify and whatnot. Awesome. Just absolutely amazing. And, of course, Piece de Resistance.
Breathtaking band himself, Keanu Reeves.
That's right.
I mean, what more do you want? Like when you already have this amazing game and you sell it with that as he's one of the main characters. It's just like,
let's go. I'm down.
Yep, you got my money already.
The high and mighty will do anything to lay their hands on it.
Told you I'd end you someday.
The last game we want to talk about is Override 2. This game is by Modus Games, and it's coming out on December 22nd, just before Christmas there. So you can find it on every major platform.
So this game's actually a third-person mech brawler. It's a little bit different from other fighters. Like, it's still a fighting game because it's player versus player, but it's got a lot of mechanics inspired from beat-em-ups and other games of that genre. Again, yeah, it's really cool. Like, you can have up to 4 players in a match, and you're all just beating the shit out of each other. And it's got single player, it's got multiplayer. So if multiplayer and PvP aren't your thing, you can still fight the CPUs and stuff and do the story mode.
Yeah, it looks to be really cool. The first game actually caught my attention. I tried it out, and it was really fun. It's got that unique combat system with full body control. So like the right trigger and the left trigger, they'll be your leg controls, and the bumpers will be your fist controls. I mean, that's on console controls anyway. I don't know how it plays on PC, but anyways, it looks to be a really cool fighter game, so you should definitely check it out.
Hell yeah.
And you can, well, when they're not bouncing around all the trampolines on Casino, you can attack them while they're in the air.
Yeah, it's a good ability.
So, there you have it, folks. That's a quick look at a few of the more notable releases that are coming out this year in December. Again, maybe just our favorites, but you know what? These games all look awesome.
Oh yeah, there's definitely lots more games coming out, but that's all the time we have for today. So hopefully you guys like the looks of these games like we did, and we'll see you guys next week.
Later, guys.
Thank you guys from Project Supervillain for bringing us the news on those games. I know that basically everybody in the world is looking forward to Cyberpunk 2077. It looks like it's going to be a fantastic game. Yes, it's been delayed quite a bit, but I know that it's going to be very well worth it. CD Projekt Red really does a fantastic job with their releases, and I know that so many streamers are excited to be playing it, as well as Immortals Phoenix Rising. That's one that's kind of caught the back of my mind there as a new release coming up in December. A lot of streamers also looking forward to that one, so it should be a great month for the streaming epics, you could say. These kind of games that you could just tune in with and watch a streamer play through and just enjoy the experience that you see, as well as play it on your own and get the chance to live the world yourself and see what other kind of decisions you can make out there. Looking forward to those games coming up in December. We want to toss it on over now to Richard, who's got some news on Rainbow Six Siege and some of the different shakeups that may be happening to the competitive world of Rainbow Six Siege. Could be super interesting. Let's go ahead and take a look at that.
Rainbow Six Siege is getting yet another shakeup. If you haven't heard about the changes being made for the competitive scene, we've got you covered. First, hailing from Thailand, Aruni is a new operator being added to the game within the next few weeks, and is currently playable on the test server. Sort of a mix between Castle, Kapkan, and Jaeger, Aruni's Surya Gates add a versatile flavor to entry, utility, and hard breach denial. And armed with Mozzie's P10 Roni and a modified version of Dakabi's DMR, she packs both a punch at short range and long range. As for her gates, while only a single piece of utility can disrupt the laser beams, they can be shot at to reactivate after about 30 seconds from the defender's side. Paired with other operators, this can be devastating against the enemy team. Or it would be, if the utility meta wasn't also changing. Jaeger is getting yet another nerf, and his grenade-catching ADS will now disable only a single projectile at a time, down from his usual 4. The ADS can now catch an infinite number of projectiles, however, it re-enables after around 10 seconds or so, leaving both the ADS and the defender's side more vulnerable to more grenades than usual. Pairing this with the fact that some operators are gaining or losing frag and stun grenades, or operators like Ashe straight up getting one additional breaching round, attackers can have an easier time getting into point. This should technically lead to less peak play overall, but when attackers refuse to enter point because they have a gear and angle advantage over you, it can be rather hard to defend. Rounds won and lost will all depend on who can execute their plan within the least amount of time. And I predict this means seeing even more heavy attack rushes either at the very start or very end of the round. Various other changes are being made, mostly in relation to balancing both sides with secondary gadget switchouts. As mentioned before, some characters like Zero are losing frag grenades in favor of hard breach charges, while others are gaining them instead. Dockaby mains rejoice. She's gotten her frags back. But no other operator has gone through such a huge rework as Tachanka. Relegated to being the biggest siege meme on the planet, our Lord and Savior has barely been touched in the entire 5-year history of the game. Until now. His
LMG mounted and loaded
is now turned into a devastatingly powerful and painfully slow-firing primary weapon. Great for making rotates and pre-firing on your enemies. It's like getting hit by a Mack truck. He also gains the Shumika launcher as his primary gadget, allowing him to spit fire from a distance similar to Capitao, making huge area denial plays. This massive overhaul should turn Tachanka into an actually viable operator. However, I do know a few people who are really going to miss the sweet, sweet sounds of...
Stay with me, Bratuka!
I wouldn't say the defenders have a distinct advantage over the attackers, and this update definitely closes that gap, but may even edge the attacking side ahead. The test server is open for you to experiment until Operation Neon Dawn goes live. And remember to pay respects to the old Lord Tachanka. The Lord is dead. Long live the Lord.
It's always fun to look into a competitive game that you may not follow as heavily, like a Rainbow Six Siege personally, and see how things are shaking up. Even if you've played it and remember how it maybe used to be, or some of the older operators or champions, heroes, things like that, seeing how they change throughout time as the game has gone on is really interesting to see, and how things are changing. So these are some good changes looking up here for these different operators, with the new one coming in as well. Could be a lot of fun to keep an eye on here for the future of Rainbow Six, and little couple things looking forward to that from them. Next up will be in the future will be our featured player of the week segment. We want to see your clips in play. We want to see the action you bring it to your everyday solo queue games, to your everyday team fight games, your one-on-one battles, your Smash Brothers brawls, whatever you think you can bring to the table. Come on and show us. We would love to see it. You can send those over at any point in time to info@nesthq.online. That is where you can send your clips of any kind of action you may have had, those things you want to show off, things that you have done in your games. And we'll make sure to put them up here with your information so that people can see any more action that you may bring to the table. So please show us what you've got, and we'll show the world. Coming up next, we actually have a check-in here from Commissioner David. He's got some information that I think could really interest a lot of people here, and maybe help look towards financial futures and where we want to play along those lines. So let's go ahead and bring Commissioner David in for that. It's so nice of you to join us. Thank you, David.
That I can start sharing a little bit of information with people, because I know the ultimate game for some people is actually investing and being on the stock market. So I'm just here to bring a little bit of light to what's going on in the world, because I know not everybody has the chance to sit around a computer and watch bar graphs. They're busy playing Red Dead Redemption 2 or the new Call of Duty that just came out for Black Ops. So let me just run down a few quick, interesting segments that I have here. I'll go from basically the best to the worst right now. And we're going to start off with EA Games. So EA Games has actually kind of increased its price after quite a tumultuous time last month. They are increasing in size, but there isn't too much news to talk about as of right now. The new Battlefield that's coming out does have a lot of investors waiting, holding their breath, basically, but some gamers are thinking it might be a little bit disappointing. We haven't heard any news on that, but until we get an announcement, we might be able to actually see the share price skyrocket a little bit higher if it's positive. Moving on to AMD. Wow, what a company. AMD has absolutely been ripping through this market, especially with their introduction of the graphics cards and, of course, their CPU sets that they always have at a very affordable price. The big thing with them is that they're going to reach a new high on the stock market, and with that new tech, they are going to be competing with some of the biggest players out there, including NVIDIA and Intel. So they're definitely something to look out for. I don't know if I'd jump in right now, but it is very interesting to watch where they're going to go. Currently trading at $93.74 at close. After market, I believe it's about $93, but we'll see what happens when it opens up tomorrow. Moving on to NVIDIA, another very interesting one that has been increasing in its share size. We are definitely watching this one, especially with their new RTX 3060s, which are going to be coming out on December 2nd. They're actually faster than the RTX 2080 Supers, which are starting at $399. So with that heavy competition, I mean, we might actually see some great discounts to buy some graphics cards at this rate. And with that, all the competition from AMD and NVIDIA might actually benefit gamers after that whole Bitcoin fiasco with everybody buying up graphics cards. So definitely keep an eye out for that one. A stock to definitely watch if you have the money for it. A little bit on the pricey side for most people at $541 at the close. Moving on, though, to Take-Two Interactive. We've been watching this one for quite some time, actually. And it is basically one of the fastest growing stocks for gaming out there right now. Take-Two Interactive also owns Rockstar Games, and we're basically waiting to hear if there's any sort of new Grand Theft Auto coming out. That will definitely jolt investors that are interested in doing that. A lot of content for Red Dead Redemption, which definitely increased its share price over the past while. But a new GTA, that might push it right over the edge. So definitely keep an eye out for that one. Again, trading a little bit high right now. Expect it to go a little bit higher, though, as the gaming market continues to dominate during this lockdown. Moving on to Intel. Intel's been having a pretty good time as of yet, but it is going to start struggling when it has to head up against AMD's new cards, new chips, everything like that. Where people are definitely waiting to see where it's going to go. It is trading at a little bit of a lower price. I mean, in October, it's down about 6.7%. October, it was trading at $53 around there. It is down to $49. So if it can get past that $50 mark, we might be able to see some momentum. Definitely something to keep an eye out if you are interested in the chip wars that are going on right now. We also do want to take a look at Activision Blizzard. Of course, Activision Blizzard, World of Warcraft, Call of Duty, everything like that. Now, there's not too much to particularly talk about right now because we haven't heard the numbers released in regards to the new Black Ops game that has just come out for Cold War. Most investors are going to be waiting to see where that's going. So it hasn't exactly had the easiest time closing today off down just about 78 cents. But definitely not out of the game. It's been trading pretty steady at about that $80 mark. Having a lot of struggles with that for the past few months, just getting past that $80 mark. But if it can break some records with Call of Duty Black Ops, we're definitely going to see a great opportunity. And for those that want to go long, interesting to check out. On a little bit of some sadder news, if anything, if you're invested in Logitech, of course, Logitech has been kind of up and down, a bit of bouncy one. It did sink today, which is very interesting, as the entire stock market did gain. So we are going to be watching that one. It could be a good dip buy. Not 100% sure. There's not too much news that has come out with Logitech as of recently, but if they do have something interesting that comes up in the near future, definitely put that on your watch list. Now, just to end it off on some very, very solemn news, is the new contender. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but Corsair entered into the publicly traded market as of recently. It was trading at like $36 almost about a week and a half ago, and it skyrocketed all the way to, I believe, an all-time high of about $51.15. Now, I'll personally say, and I shouldn't say it, but I was in on that ride for a while, and it was a crazy ride. It just going up 20%, 30%. It was crazy. However, we have seen the entire market just take back all of their gains, riding down from 50 all the way closing at 34.60, and we're not sure if that's going to be the bottom. Again, this is a very junior competitor to be in the stock market right now, and we're continuously watching this to see, what the actual valuation is. Keep in mind, Corsair isn't just the keyboards and the mice and peripherals, they also do have a lot of other subsidiaries making hard drives and RAM, everything that goes inside of the computer as well. So we're going to watch this one to see where the actual valuation is. It did take a pretty big hit, as a lot of analysts are raising concern over what the actual valuation of it is. Of course, it hasn't even been on the stock market for a year, so I'm definitely going to be watching that one to see where it's going to go. Will it reach 50 again? I don't know. They might have to pull something out of the bag to really interest investors, but as of right now, again, really harsh, down 32.5% from its high at that $51 mark. We'll see if it can recover. But other than that, that seems to be the summary for most things that are going on in the gaming world. I look forward to talking a little bit more and seeing what happens next week. So I'm going to throw this right back to you, Joker. Thank you for that.
Thanks very much, Kamish, for the look in on the stock market here as it concerns gaming, everything gaming, games, peripherals, what have you. It's really interesting to see how these companies do in the stock market, because especially for somebody like Blizzard, who has a plethora of games and different things under their belts, things that are succeeding, like the new Call of Duty title, has been succeeding very well, and they've been doing a fairly good job of keeping up with the public as to what they want to see in the games. We've seen some patches and nerfs and buffs to the multiplayer side of things. We've seen some patches for the zombies side of things as well. But then you also have games under their belt like Hearthstone, which has been it's a very hot button topic right now in the gaming world, because you do end up having the changes to things that are not very well received by the public. Things that like having to pay even more for the battlegrounds, for the battlegrounds attachments that you can get to try to get some new heroes or new stats and information. Even their battle pass system has really come under fire lately. So it's really interesting to see how a company like that will change and fluctuate in the market based off of the different products and different games that they use. And we definitely look forward to seeing more information from you, Commissioner, in the future on the stocks and how they're playing out throughout the markets. That is going to be our show, our pilot episode for the season for tonight. Before we do go, we do want to let you know that we're definitely looking for more contributors. If you have something that you want to bring to the show, news that you want to bring in, anything like what Richard or Project Supervillain has done for us to showcase something that either they're interested in or something that is new and being looked forward to in the community, in the gaming industry, please send us that information. Once again, it's info@nesthq.online. Please contact us. We'll make sure that we can work with you to get your contributions on our show. Keep an eye out on the website, on the Facebook page, on the Twitter page for all of our upcoming tournaments and information. We'll make sure that we bring all of that to you as timely as we possibly can to make sure that you get the best investment and you can join us for those tournaments. Make sure to hit that like, follow, and subscribe buttons as well. We're going to be here weekly bringing you even more information and bringing you more news and excitement throughout the gaming industry. Thank you very much for tuning in to Gaming Nest News. My name, again, is Joker. We will see you next week.